Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. I'm Joe.
And I'm Serena.
And we are here with our two golden lovebirds, Joan and Chock. Welcome back to Bachelor Happy Hour. How are you guys?
Doing great. Thanks for having us back, too.
Yeah,
of
good
course.
to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Joan, what is that box behind you?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
Oh, I thought I honestly
I
thought it
thought you,
was
like, put it
product placement.
intentionally.
Yeah, I was like, was she
Supposed to
promoting
be there.
something right now?
I have my grandkids living with me right now, and my brother is in my basement building a closet for me. So I'm up in my bedroom. I have no place to go.
Gotcha. I need a little extra shoe room.
Yeah. Oh, winter coats.
Winter coats. Yeah, we have a storage unit for that stuff,
Yeah.
separate from our
Yeah,
apartment.
you guys live in New York. You have to.
We need a little extra space. We've outgrown this apartment. Chock, where are you? You're at home too?
I'm in Kansas,
You're
back
in
in my
Kansas.
office, just working away. I get to see Joan on Thursday, so
Yeah.
real excited to have that happen.
Chock, are you an animal enthusiast? You've got all these photos of animals behind you.
That was a trip. I've been to Africa a couple of times. That was a trip in 2004, and my son and I are going back in July.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
his
amazing.
first trip, so we're really looking forward to it.
What are you most excited for?
Just to take him. He's always wanted to do it. He graduated from high school in 2000, and COVID prevented us from going at that point. So he's out of college, and we're going to go do it. We're going to have some fun.
Nice. That's a fun trip. I've never done a safari or anything like that. So
Yeah,
it's got to be a lot
we'll
of
do
fun.
it at some point.
You think so?
I think so. I would love to. I don't know if you would like it as much.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Joan, would you ever do something like that?
It's like number one on my bucket list. I'm dying to go.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be so amazing.
But Chalk's been so many times. Like this is, I don't know, like his third or fourth trip. So I'm not sure if he's going to want to go again. I might have to find somebody. You know what, Serena, you and I can go.
We'll go. I'll go with you. There we go.
Well, it's like coming to the U.S. You know, they think if they go to Chicago or New York, they've seen America. I mean, it's just so big.
Yeah.
And that
Definitely.
continent is so much bigger than what we have here in the United States, North America. So there's a lot to do. We're going to go to Zimbabwe, which is kind of different. So it's going to be pretty rustic, but we're looking forward to it.
Nice. That's fun.
That is
What?
fun.
So you guys are meeting up on Thursday. How does that look? Who's going where? Where are you guys going?
Joan?
Chalk's fine here. He's fine here. A friend of mine has a beach house, and she invited Chalk and I with another couple, all couples that he has met. So we're just going to spend the weekend in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Oh, that's so nice. The weather's supposed to be good?
No, not great.
I was going to
weather.
say, it's supposed to rain in New York this weekend.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like kind of 60 and not great, but we'll have fun. Like we'll play games and, eat.
You know what?
Be
They
together.
last weekend or 2 weekends ago, it was supposed to rain like all weekend, and it rained overnight every single time.
Yeah.
And it was sunny all day. So that's what I'm hoping for you guys.
Yeah, I'm going to bring clothes and pretend it's going to be sunny and
Yeah.
just hope for the best.
Yeah. Throw on a sweater.
Yeah.
Joe and Serena, we're going to be in New York in a couple of weeks. What do we need to do?
Ooh, I mean, it's going to be great weather, hopefully. June's always the best. So you should go.
Yeah.
This could be really hot though.
Yeah.
Like
We
the other
love-
day, it was like I think 2 days ago, it was like 80, but it was like a hot 80. Like
Yeah.
I was walking down the street, I was like, it's almost too hot out.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if you're looking to
humid.
do outdoor stuff, like we love Central Park, obviously. And the West Side Highway is a great walk too on the water. You get a little bit more of a breeze there, which is so nice. And then also just like all the patios in the West Village. They have so many cute like wine bars and cocktail bars. You can just like sit outside and
Have you guys
watch.
have you guys been to Williamsburg yet?
Yeah, I've been a lot of
I
times.
haven't.
He probably hasn't.
Oh, you
We're-
guys should go there.
Yeah, that's
I love
fun.
Williams. We're bringing my mom, who's 93, and my aunt, who's 86, who's coming here from Spain to visit. So Chalk and I are taking. They love to go to Broadway shows, so we're going to come up and see a show. So if you could recommend a show, that would be great.
Yes. Apparently, Outsiders. The Outsiders is amazing.
Yeah, I had some friends here that just went and saw that and they loved
Okay,
it.
good. I'd love to see that.
Yes. It won a bunch of Tonys. And
Sarah Hyland's in a play. I think she's in like The Great
she's
Gatsby.
in The Great Gatsby, but I think she just rapped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's supposed to be amazing. Great Gatsby and Juliet is supposed to be really fun. They're always promoting that in taxis. It's like all like modern day music. It's like a modern take on Romeo and
Oh,
Juliet.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
Yeah.
what else. We've seen like Book of Mormon, obviously like all the classics.
Yeah,
and
same
stuff.
all those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time we talked to you guys, you were looking for an apartment in New York. What is going on with that?
So most likely, stay tuned. August, September, we'll make an announcement.
Okay.
I'm a little frugal. I'm not going to deny that, but we've been traveling so much. So we just wanted to put it on hold to make sure that when we do get the place, we're going to be able to use it. But August, September, we'll make an announcement.
And can you tell us what area you're looking at?
Joan wants 5 bedrooms, a view of Central Park, and a doorman. And I'm thinking a studio about 400 square feet with a air fryer. So someplace in between that, wouldn't you say, honey?
I'd say closer to what Joan wants.
Thank you, Serena. Now we're going to live together, and we're going to the safari.
Yeah, I'll live in one of your 5 bedrooms, and we'll go to Africa.
Well, in the places to live in New York City, there's just so many good ones. We've looked at Soho, but there's just not a lot of availability. I like the Upper West Side. We've looked at some on the Upper East Side, Midtown, and I'm just getting to know New York City, so we're going to still continue to look.
Yeah, things come and go so fast.
I like the Upper West Side a lot, actually.
It is, yeah. There's some really nice neighborhoods up there.
And you can get space up there.
And it's also really hard if you're not living there to be there enough to find a place, because you'll miss a place if you're not there the day it comes available. Like sometimes it's gone by the next day. So it's been a little difficult because we have been a lot busier than I think we expected that we would be. And so we haven't been up there. We thought we would be coming up and seeing hotels and looking at places all the time. That has been so untrue. We have been in a million other places, but really not that much in New York.
Yeah, when Joe and I decided to move here, we came in November, did a browse, just knowing we weren't going to pick anything, just kind of seeing what we liked, what was available. And then we came in March, middle of March, and we looked to go. We did one day looking in Brooklyn, one day looking in Manhattan, and then the end of that day, we made a decision. Friend / real estate agent was like, you need to decide now. It's now or it's gone. Which we were fine. We were prepared for. We were like, great, that one, signed. We moved in 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Wow, I know. So it's so rushed. And I think he lives in Kansas. I live in Maryland. I can hop on a train and get up there really quickly. But I want him there to see it. I don't want to make the decision by myself.
I totally get that.
We had something interesting happen, too, is we put an offer in on a place, and they would not lease it to us unless we personally saw it.
And we're like, but we said we want it. Our realtor walked it for us and videoed it while she was walking through. We're like, perfect, we'll take it. And they're like, no, they wouldn't rent it to us.
Was it a co-op?
It wasn't a co-op, but they had other offers, and they took somebody else's offer.
But that's such a weird...
So weird.
What did they think you were going to come see it and change your mind? Maybe they've had that happen, but it's if you're saying, I don't know. That's
you
weird.
Signed a lease and you put down a down payment, which they require. I mean, that would be a weird thing to do. And we're picky, but we're not that picky. I felt confident by I've seen enough places that when she walked through it, I had an idea, a sense of what it was going to be like, and they wouldn't do it.
Oh, well, maybe it's a sign. Maybe your dream place is still out there.
Yeah, I hope so.
We'll find it.
Yes. Yep.
So you guys have been busy. Busy with any media work? I think, were you guys both at that Hulu event?
Just me. Joan was in New York, weren't you, honey?
Yeah, I was in New York. I was on Andy Cohen, Watch What's Happening Live that night.
Oh, how was that?
That was fun. That was such an experience. It is live and it's Andy Cohen. So, and there were some, the two of the girls from The Valley, which is the hit show these days. Everybody's watching it. So it was really fun. I was the bartender, which was hilarious. And I was there because I was the spokesperson this year for Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. It was their big event that weekend, and I was the ambassador for the event. So Andy Cohen has some kind of link to pancreatic cancer. He never talked about it really, said what I was doing there, but didn't really talk about the cancer event. But I got to be on it. So it was really fun, but I missed the Hulu event. So I had huge FOMO because I felt like I knew so many people there. Lots of Bachelor Nation people were there, but I missed it, but it was for a good reason.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that is such a cool opportunity. The Hulu event did look fun. I had a little bit of FOMO too. We weren't able to make it either, but Chock, how was it? Tell us about it.
It was really fun, Serena. It was good to see the guys from the show, from Joan's show, but then also to meet some people. Derek Hugh, the dancer was nice. Everyone was so nice too. And very, The guys, we went out the night before, went to the event, got to meet a lot of new people. And it's just, I'm a Kansas boy that grew up on a farm. This is completely new to me. And Jesse was there. Jesse's just such a class act. Jesse just makes it feel like you're an old friend. And I didn't get a chance to meet Mel, but I did get to see him. He's a good looking guy. I think he's going to do great.
Yeah. What do you guys think? New Golden Bachelor.
He's got some riz, and I think you need somebody with. I learned that word last year. I didn't know what that meant, but he's got confidence, and I think he'll do a good job. Social media's been kind of beating him up, but they beat everybody up. And
have they been beating him up? What do they say?
A little bit. So Mel, if you want some advice, call me. I'll tell you. But no, I think he's going to do great. And it was. I've got friends that were on the show, and I was rooting for a number of them to be the Golden Bachelor, but I'm just going to support the decision. And hopefully it's a great show, and it's very entertaining for everyone, and hopefully two people find love.
Joan, what do you think?
I think, well, I haven't met him yet, but I think he looks great on paper. I mean, he has quite it's like an interesting life. He was a professional football player. He became a lawyer. He lives in LA. He has a couple kids. It doesn't look like he had a bad divorce. He doesn't, I haven't seen a lot on social media about him. I think on paper, he looks really good. I think you can't deny he's a handsome guy. He's, in good shape. He's fit. I think that there's going to be a lot of women applying to be on the show suddenly. I don't know what the applications look like before he was announced, but I bet they have had a huge uptick.
I agree. We haven't had the chance to meet him or connect with him yet either, but he does on paper, in photographs, he looks like a very solid pick.
Yeah. I was surprised that it seemed like he was a last minute pick, and that looking at all the circumstances, what he looks like, how handsome he is, what his kind of resume looks like, that seems a little weird that was a last minute pick. I can't imagine that when he came across their desk, they wouldn't have been like, oh my gosh, this is the guy. I wonder about that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like they always pick so last minute though. I mean, I think it's a little different when it's someone coming off of a past season. Yep. But I know even with Bachelorette, they'll be looking at 3 or 4 people no matter what, just in case something happens or someone meets the love of their life, and then they make that call right down to the wire.
Yeah.
What do you think of when you hear Amazon Prime? Delivery trucks outside your home. Right now, I'm
Astral implant 68 milligrams. Use a non-hormonal birth control method. Explanon.com or call
on all the brands and products. CVS.com/extra.
I see website for details. Not available if at Metro.
Has a solution for everything from bras and shapewear that as low as $24.95. You can feel. Share the secret. Share the rumors with us. 7 sizes.
What do you guys think? Anything you could tell us about Bachelor in Paradise?
Yeah. What have you heard? Share the secret. Share the rumors with us.
Oh, I can't tell what I know, but oh my gosh, it is. I feel like it's going to have great viewership because everybody is wondering what the heck is going on with the Goldens and the Youngs together at the same paradise, knowing what we know about paradise just from you guys, the young people having done it for so many years. And it's a bunch of people walking around with great bodies in skimpy bathing suits. It's hot and sweaty, not something that the Goldens would normally like. I also wonder even about the Goldens matching up, because I know that the women coming off of Gary's season were way older than the men that came off my season.
That's
my guys were young on the young side. I was the youngest on Gary's season. So they, picked younger guys for me. So I wonder how that even, matchmaking is going.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I kind of forgot about that. That the women were gearing more towards their 70s and your men are gearing more towards their 60s.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Serena, I read that there's some partying going on with the Goldens down there.
Did
you?
And
that they were out partying the young people. And that's got to be my man, Keith, 100%.
Does Keith have good party stamina? He can go all night?
Incredible. Again, I don't know if he's there, but when they said the Goldens were up partying, I'm going, that might just be Keith.
Yeah, if Keith's there, Keith, they're talking about him.
Is there a potential match if both of you were betting people and you're like, okay, there's I think this is going to be the couple that would make it out of there. Who would you choose? Now, granted, we don't know who's there, but from both casts, if you were going to pick a couple.
Well, we know Leslie's there, and who I really like. I like a lot of them, but I think Nancy's a catch for whomever.
Yeah.
I think she would be a good person. Leslie, I did see that Susan's not going. That was made public that she has a love affair. And the guys that I know, it was interesting. A lot of them are in relationships.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
And those come and go. So, we know Gary was going, Leslie, and then the young guys. And I just wish them all luck. And I had a couple of guys call me and they go, "Would you go on the show?" And I go, "If I was single, absolutely. I'd go have fun, enjoy it." And it's a whole new mixture with the youngs and the golden. So go experiment life. Go have fun.
Yeah. I would love, I don't know who's there. I would love to have seen Greg down there and Dan. I think both of those are great catches. There's so many of the guys from my season that were really good catches. Well, all the guys I actually think were pretty amazing people, but so many of them paired up. I think it was so interesting to see how that happened. I feel like there's some sociological experiment that they maybe went to the mansion, and although we didn't end up being love matches, they somehow the door opened up for them, or something clicked in their brains, and they came off the show, and so many of them paired up to major relationships, in love, done, found their life person so soon after being on the show, which, obviously they were not heartbroken about me. So, all right, I'm good with that. I'm happy about that, actually. But that they, were open up, kind of opened up in a weird way because, many of them had not had relationships in years. So they came off the show and found love, which I think may have limited Paradise a little bit for the Goldens, because I don't think there were as many guys that would have been really good in Paradise, but they were already, they already had their love.
Yeah, I do think there is something about the show that especially for these men who have maybe been closed off to finding love for so long, and then you go and you allow yourself to be vulnerable, and it takes some of that fear away from dating and moving on and finding new love in your life. And I feel like they leave it with so much more of an open heart, and it attracts that. It ends up working out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, so many of them. And I would love to know who's there, because I do feel like there could be some matches in the making, but I don't know who's there. So it's hard to
What do you think? Because we know that Leslie's there.
Yeah.
And we know that you had kind of connected Jordan from your season from Chicago and Leslie. Proximity, age, all seemed to be a bit of a fit.
Yep.
When we had her on the podcast, it seemed like there was definitely some romantic interest there, and it kind of ended up falling into a bit more of a friend category. If they're both down there, do you think there's potential for a spark to form?
I think that ship sailed. I think they met each other. They had some conversations. They live close enough together that I think they could have gotten together if they had wanted to, and if they had wanted to pursue this. So I don't think it was a love. It was the best match I felt like I had in my head coming off my season. That was the one. In fact, I called Leslie and I said, "I had the guy for you. I can't tell you who he is because he's still on the show. It's still airing and he's still on the show. But when he comes off, I'm setting you guys up." And I did, and it didn't work out. So I was really disappointed by that one, because that was the best love match I had in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, on paper, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, didn't it?
And even kind of knowing them both, I was like, oh, maybe something here. But
yeah. Well, they're both super athletic, very active.
Yeah, adventurous.
Jewish. I mean, they kind of had the connection on religion. There were so many great connections. I was actually surprised. But sometimes people that are really similar don't attract. Sometimes it's the opposites.
Yeah. Definitely. And I feel like that's also the fun of Paradise. Sometimes the people that you think going in are going to immediately hit it off don't have a connection at all. And it surprises you who they connect with.
I actually feel like the people in Paradise, I feel like those relationships sometimes work better than the ones from the show, from the regular Bachelor show, because they have more time just to have more downtime. They have more time just to interact organically, as opposed to a planned date.
Definitely.
So I got to tell you, I would love to see Charles L there. I would love to see him on the beach. I don't know if he's going, don't know anything, but he would be so fun to watch. And America wants to see the guy again. everyone I talk to, what's going on with Charles L? Where's he doing? Where's he at? What's he
Charles L,
doing?
I
He's
know.
disappeared.
I
Yeah.
wonder if his hair is still black. He told us he changed
saw
his
that
diet
picture.
and he's aging backwards.
It was so cute that he did that. That's one of those things that people's personality changed so much for him. That was like so life changing for Charles L. I thought it was going to carry out into real life. Sometimes a lot of people that are on the show go back to their, real life, and they, nothing really comes from them being on the show other than they had this great experience. I thought Charles was going to kind of stay with us. We were going to be seeing him a little bit more. I'm a little surprised that he's kind of faded back into his old life.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll pop up on the beach and he'll be back at it again.
I wonder if he
That
was
all
up for
buff and
Bachelor.
maybe a ponytail and some tattoos.
Yeah, a whole new look.
Oh boy, that would be
We
great.
saw that you guys put wedding plans on hold for now. Can we get into that a little bit?
Miss Joan?
Okay, I think I'm the spokesperson on this one. I said we've been super busy, but that's really not the whole thing. You guys understand this because you've been on the show before. You date kind of in a weird backwards way. You go and you date really intensely and you take this leap of faith and you get engaged, and then you come off the show and then you get to know each other, in those everyday mundane ways that you haven't done yet. You've done the big stuff. You haven't done the little stuff. So we're kind of doing that. And I'm not saying that that's the reason we haven't made wedding plans. It's just, we're having fun doing that. And, we're going to make wedding plans. It just doesn't seem like it's a rush. We don't have like a biological clock. And it also seems to me a little bit, when you get married, you really probably should be living together at that point. And we still have a little bit of time that we need to be apart. Chuck still has a business. We're both really still kind of busy, and we're having fun meeting. Like, we see each other about every 2 weeks. And, those interactions are really still very fun. The absence makes the heart grow fonder is a little bit true. I'm jumping out of the car, so excited to see him when he comes into town, or the same thing when I go to Kansas. So it doesn't seem like there's a rush to get married. It seems like it would maybe put a strain on our relationship at this point because we're both really busy, and it's working out really well the way we're doing it now.
Nice.
We do have a little test coming up over July 4th. We'll be together for 2 weeks solid.
Is that the longest amount of time you guys will have spent together?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay. Hopefully you don't get sick of each other.
Yeah, that's it. That's the test.
I feel like when we're together, the longer we're together, the more comfortable we get. And so I feel like by the end of those 2 weeks, it's going to be hard to actually leave each other.
Do you guys have any other trips planned together over the summer?
We have New York,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's the middle of June. And then the 2 weeks back in Maryland. And then, Joan, I haven't told you, but we're working on a potential reunion with all the guys in
that's so
July in
exciting.
Vegas. We've been working on that for the
nice.
past 2 days. And then the guys today were texting me going, Joan's got to come. So we'll have to talk about her schedule. We're usually about 3 months out with our schedule, but with the summer, we're just kind of piecing it together. But
Yeah.
we're going to try to spend some time in New York as well.
And while he's on the safari with his son, which is the first week in August, I'm going to be on a cruise in the Mediterranean with Nancy from Golden Bachelor.
Oh, wow.
fun.
That's going to be so much
A
fun.
little girls trip.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, if you go to this reunion in Vegas, I feel like you got to bring a girlfriend or something.
Oh,
Unless
God, I
you're
should,
down to
right?
be with all the boys.
Well, they're all my old boyfriends. So
I
I'm comfortable
know.
with them.
Yeah, the good thing is I'm not a jealous guy, but if we can put it together, it'll be a great weekend.
Oh, my God.
What are you
And-
guys thinking you want to do in Vegas?
Well, and honey, I have to tell you, this is almost everyone that was on the show. Everyone's going to
That's
get invited.
Crazy. I love
Yes.
that. Well, it
Yeah.
should wait. Oh, my gosh. So I think Charles L would have a good time in Vegas. He's probably never been.
Well, a couple of guys go, I hope Joan remembers me because she only spent 10 minutes with me before she
know.
kicked me off the show.
Well, you know how hard it's like the first night is. You guys know. Like, some people you hardly got to spend any time with, and then they're gone forever.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. Hopefully, you don't meet one of those guys and be like, damn, I made a huge mistake. Chock.
Gosh, I'm a little
You got
insulted,
better
but not even a
looking.
little worried.
What do you think of when you hear Amazon Prime? Delivery trucks outside your home, your favorite streaming shows, of course. But there is so much more. Whatever you able to order anything
Of pregnancy in women. Difficult or impossible at 5266 for
day. And speaking of saving, extra care your favorite products.
prices. Who doesn't dream of finding the perfect everyday endless choices of colors to fit bra and panty sets for as low as $24.95?
I don't know if this is cliche, but just live your life.
If a couple does come up,
Just panties. Head to adoreme.com now to shop styles from comfortable to sexy in over 67 sizes.
if a couple does come out, if a golden couple does come out of paradise, what after show advice would you give them?
You have a thought, Chock?
I don't know if this is cliche, but just live your life. You know, you're in the public eye a little bit, or maybe a lot, but just live your life. Do what you want to do. And some opportunities will come your way, but do what you think's right, what you're comfortable with, and spend as much time as you can together. But then get to know the person, because Joan and I have been very authentic on this. It was quick, it was fast. The attraction was there. We knew we were going to be a good fit. But as she said earlier, as Joan said earlier, we're just now still getting to know each other. And even if we were married, had just a flash in the pan marriage, that first year, you're still learning about the person, their family, what they like, what they don't like, just the whole thing. So just take it slow and enjoy life.
Yeah, and I would feel like, you are suddenly in the limelight a little more. So when you're a contestant, you're one of many. When you come out as a couple, people are very interested. They've invested in this journey. They've watched you fall in love. They want to know more about you. So, I think you have to respect that you have, you have introduced them to this relationship, and it's not very nice to leave them at the curb at this point. So you do have to, I feel like you owe it to the people that have watched the show to, at least give them updates on how you guys are doing. But I don't think that needs to be the main part of your relationship. And I do think that happens sometimes. I look at some bachelor couples and they're all about being out and, doing Instagram and, being on shows. I think that needs to be a part of it. But I think the bigger part of it has to be you and the two of you really, learning about each other and seeing each other, how you live, because how you live is important, especially as Goldens. You have a very established life. You're not saying, oh, I'm going to get up and move to where you live. Or you're going to give up and move where I live. Or, you have families, you have friends, you have jobs, you have lives that you've really established. So figuring it out is a little bit harder.
Definitely. Yeah. Makes sense. So overall right now, the plan for you guys would be hopefully to move in together at some point and then marriage.
Yeah. I think we're I would say in the next 18 months, we'll be in that place, but we're not rushing it. There's no reason to. And we want to make sure we do it right. We want to make sure that, everything is settled for Chock with his, with his business, and, that has a little ways to go. And so, there's no huge rush, and we want to do it right. We're building a big future, and, you can't rush it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not a 5-bedroom apartment in Manhattan.
Can't rush that.
And Joe, I have to psychologically get there because I have a hamper, but for some reason my clothes don't make it to the hamper.
Yeah.
And when I'm with Joan, they need to make it to the hamper. So my lifestyle is going to change a little bit. So
we need the hamper right next to the bed, as accessible as possible.
Right? Yeah, it needs to be right in his face.
And then everyone in Wichita knows the story about my socks, or everybody in the United States knows about my socks collection. But then the latest thing is I've never had salt in my house. And honey, I heard all about that the last few days. All the ladies were laughing, going, I can't believe you didn't have any salt whatsoever.
He didn't have any salt. He didn't have any mixing bowls. I was trying to cook something. We were going to a friend of his house, and I said, oh, I'll bring dessert. And I went to find stuff. There was nothing. He has no mixing spoons. He doesn't have a bowl to put batter in. There was.
I take it you're not really a cook, Chock?
Actually, I am, but it's all protein.
You're a
But you
griller.
don't salt. But you don't salt. You don't salt anything.
No.
You don't salt your steak?
Wow.
Is it like a health thing or just an indifference?
It started with a health thing, and then I'm a little different. I haven't had cable TV for 15 years.
I'm Catholic, and it was in the process of the Pope being selected, and it was driving me crazy. I couldn't watch the news. I really wanted to see this whole thing. We were at a at a Vietnamese restaurant that had a TV on, and I saw that the Pope had been selected because he has no cable.
No. All right. So we need cable. We need mixing bowls. We need a laundry hamper.
Salt? Yes.
Salt.
Salt. When I first went to Joe's place in Chicago, he had like 2 bowls, 2 plates,
Yeah.
a glass.
I live by myself, I live by myself.
I was like, we need to go to Target.
And then Chock did the cutest thing. He bought me a mug. So I had my own mug and it was really, really cute. And I go, so I'm there the last time and I get up in the morning. I'm like, I'm going to go make my coffee. And I look in the cabinet. I can't find my damn mug. He's taking it to his office. So he stole my mug.
He liked it. He was like, oh, it's pretty nice.
It was a really nice mug.
Before we let you guys go, we talked about trips, any projects coming up you want to talk about, plug anything like that?
How about you, Chock?
I will tell you, I had something unique happen last week, and I'm kind of a tough guy that has just a little sensitive side. But Wichita Medical, it's a nonprofit organization for people that have been assaulted and victims. And I've heard about it. They're actually a client of mine, but I went and met with the board of directors and had a tour of their facility. Absolutely incredible. And I'm a guy that, everyone knows what 911 is. I didn't know what 211 is. And that's for assault victims to call and to get counseling and those type of things. But this group offers a medical facility if somebody does not want to go to the hospital. They want complete privacy. And it was incredible. And it's just a very small nonprofit. They run on a shoestring budget. And it just made me feel good about humanity. And the board of directors, they were all people that were connected to it in one way or another. Catholic Charities, they had a prosecutor, they had a detective, all females from the local police department. And it was just really good. It made you feel good about humanity and people doing good for other people in a bad situation. So that's a little bit of what the platform gives you. It gives you exposure to the stuff. And I'm at a point where if I do anything on a platform, I want it to, you're not always going to be perfect, but you want it to mean something for someone, educational, or just say, hey, here's this group. And at first I was like, I didn't want to push for people to donate, but I'm going, just what a fantastic group. And what they need is supplies and a little bit of money for their facility, but that's it. Everyone that volunteers there does not take a salary. So just a very great 2 hours that I had last week.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Can you say the name of the facility one more time in case people want to look it up or donate?
It's Wichita Medical, and it's a forensic facility. And my mother was a forensic pathologist, so she dealt with end of life, that type of thing. And that's what I go, explain to me the forensic, but it's scientific of going in to say, who's the perpetrator, all that stuff. And it really protects it. It's not only for women, but it protects people's rights and gives them advocacy. It gives them access to people that deal with this for a living, that care about it, that can help these people through these situations.
Nice.
It's amazing. Those organizations exist all over the place. So because women that are abused are afraid, a lot of them, because their abusers will come find them. So the fact that they make an effort to make sure that this is secretive and they feel safe is really important, because otherwise they won't come forward. So that's an amazing network. And I'm doing a couple of things. I think both of us feel very privileged that, at this age in life, we have a little bit of a platform that people, like, at least we have maybe some followers, or we get to be on a show like this and talk about, some special projects. So I'm doing the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. And that was, what I talk about because I was on Andy Cohen, but that's a big, big, big charity. And it's what my husband died from, pancreatic cancer. And it's on track to be the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in the United States.
Wow.
So, if that scares you, it should. Because it was a cancer that we never heard about before. And all of a sudden, there's a huge uptake in it. And there's no test to detect it. And there are very few treatment options. So if anybody wants to give, that's an amazing organization to give to. And I'm also going tomorrow night to do a local charity called Comfort Cases, a guy who had been part of the foster care system, just like my mother had been. And a lot of people we probably all know have been part of that system, started a company or started philanthropic organization, a nonprofit that gives people going into foster care comfort packs. So they're backpacks, and they have toiletries and pajamas, and for the younger ones a stuffed animal, for the older ones some other things. But it gives them something, so when they go to these places, sometimes they have nothing. They've been taken out of a home because it's an emergency and they have nothing. So they last year he provided 250,000 of them. So he provides them to organizations across the United States. All you have to do is go on the website and say what I need, like how many you need, if you need 10, if you need 20. A lot of people in the legal system and in the in like that works with kids access these through this organization. So he will send them to anybody free of charge. So I'm going to be there tomorrow night stuffing packs with a bunch of my friends.
Nice.
That's amazing. I love hearing the different organizations that you guys are involved with. And if anyone is looking to support, there's two awesome charities and organizations right there that you can take part in.
Yeah.
Joe, I have a question for you.
Let's hear it.
You've been working out. You kind of got the gun show going.
Yeah.
You're looking pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I think it's just the way. I mean, I do work out, but I think it's just the way I've been sitting. But I appreciate. I think that's the perfect way to end this podcast.
Right.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and taking the time.
Thank
We
you.
really
for coming.
appreciate
It's
it.
always a pleasure. Joan, I'll see you Thursday.
See you in a little bit.
All right. Love you,
And
baby.
to
Bye,
all,
guys.
bye.
All right.
And to all our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Bachelor Happy Hour. Make sure you download and subscribe to the podcast.
We have new exclusive interviews coming every single week. So don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Bye.